Christos Anesti, Christ is risen. Tomorrow, May 21st, is the day we celebrate Saints Constantine and Helen. They are very well-known saints, and their names are very popular among Orthodox Christians. So Chronia Pola, many years to those who are celebrating. Saint Constantine is a saint whom you'll also find in your history books, because he was a Roman emperor who was born in the year 272. As a young man, Constantine saw an image of a cross in the sky and had a vision of Christ which led him to faith. Under his rule, the Edict of Milan was enacted, and for the first time, Christianity was tolerated in the Roman Empire. This was a huge change for Christians who had been severely punished and even martyred for their faith, and the church now had the possibility of being out in the open instead of hidden. This wasn't the end to persecution for the Christians, but it was a big change. During both Matins and the liturgy, you'll hear the Apollytikion of Saints Constantine and Helen. Remember I said last week that an Apollytikion is kind of like a theme song. So I'll read the words of this hymn about Saint Constantine, and then I'll sing it. Having seen the image of thy cross in heaven, and like Paul, having received the call not from men, thine apostle among kings entrusted the commonwealth to thy hand, O Lord. Keep us always in peace, by the intercession of the Theotokos, O only friend of man. Having seen the image of thy cross in heaven, and like Paul having received the call not from man, thine apostle among kings entrusted the commonwealth to thy hand, O Lord. Keep us always in peace, by the intercessions of the Theotokos, O only friend of man. Saint Constantine's mother, Helen, also became a Christian, and one of her notable actions was to travel to Palestine to search for the holy places of Christianity, many of which had been hidden to this point. With the support of her son, she had churches built at some of these places, such as the site of the crucifixion and resurrection, the birth of Christ in Bethlehem, and the Mount of Olives. She even located the cross itself, and there are still remnants of the cross that can be viewed today. Many of the hymns of this day are about Saint Constantine, or they mention both of the saints, but there's one near the end of Matins that is only about Saint Helen. Full of wisdom, Helen, praised by all, when you accepted the Lord's saving teachings like chosen earth, you abundantly produced many fruits of your virtuous deeds, and by displaying a holy way of life, for imitation you thereby feed our minds. Therefore we celebrate your divine memorial, O royal saint, festively observing it today with heightened joy. We can learn a lot by studying the lives of the saints. They are there as models for us, and they are not gone. They are still a part of the church with us. Through the many hymns of the church, we teach about them, we honor them, and we are encouraged by their example of faith. See you next week. Don't forget to send your comments and your questions.